Hello, it's soup time. What I've got here is a delicious, creamy chicken and rice soup with Parmesan garlic toast. So I've got a whole batch of little garlic toast over here with the Parmesan mixed in with them. You can either just serve them like this on the side, and so your diners can dunk them in the soup, or you can float some on top of the soup for a really beautiful presentation. Let's have some of this soup. In here, there's chicken, there's rice, there's mushrooms, there's leeks, onions, carrots, all kinds of goodness. And then we got some Parmesan cheese and some cream to creamy it up. All right. Well, that's a real comfort food. This is great in winter. You got a cold day outside. You come and have this. Oh yeah, great stuff. And then helps out a little bit of one of these toasts on top. Oh, bang goes the garlic. All right. Whoa. All right. Let's go in the kitchen and make some of this right now. All right, so here are the ingredients for our soup. Now, across the front, I've got a half a cup of rice. That's uncooked rice. It's going to get cooked in the broth and pick up more flavor. In this case, I'm using a Japanese short grain rice, but any rice will do. Long grain is fine, and actually probably even better. And across here, I've got 3 cloves of garlic, and they've been thinly sliced. 2 tablespoons of butter, a half teaspoon each of salt and pepper. Next row, we've got 1 onion chopped. We've got 1 large carrot chopped. We've got 2 ounces or 55 grams, not milligrams, that's very small, 55 grams of Parmesan cheese that's been grated on a fine grater. Then across the back here, we've got 12 ounces or 340 grams of chicken, in this case, chicken thigh, and I've sliced it into strips. About a ½ inch or 12 millimeters thick, somewhere around there, strips. Now you can use any other part of the chicken if you want. I just prefer thigh meat. Here I've got anywhere between 12 and 15 mushrooms. These are just the regular mushrooms, the I call champignon mushrooms, or here in Japan we just call them mushroom. And I've just sliced them about anywhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch, or 3 to 5 millimeters thick. In this case, I think I've got 14 in there, but anywhere around there is good. Here, leeks, 2 leeks, just the white parts only, and I've sliced those across in rounds, which are about, a little under ½ an inch thick, or about 10 millimeters thick. Across the back, we've got the liquids. Now, the liquids are, over here, I've got, that would either be 15-ounce cans of chicken broth, or 4 cups of chicken broth. Here I've got 2 cups of water, and then I've got 3/4 cup of heavy cream. That's 35% or more. First thing we want to do, get our pot going here. Put that up on medium heat. Get that butter in there. Let's get that butter melting. So in goes the butter. Get a little push around to get it melted. All right, with a little help from my spatula, push around, that butter is melted. So in goes the onions, or onion, but onion pieces. And the carrot. And I'm going to throw in the salt and pepper too. And then just stirring that occasionally. I cook that for about 5 minutes. I just want to soften up the onion, get the carrots a little bit going, and then we're going to come back and toss in some more ingredients. So see you back here in 5 minutes. All right, that's been cooking for about 5 minutes. Soften up the onions a bit, kind of get those carrots start softening up a little bit. What I want to do now is I want to add in the leeks and the mushrooms and the garlic. I'm just going to cook this for another just 2 to 3 minutes. I don't want to cook it too long. I don't want to burn the garlic. I just want to get things started a bit here. Stir it around a bit. All right, so see you back here in about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're going to get in the meat, the rice, and a couple of liquids. All right, see you back here shortly. All right, so that's been a couple of minutes of cooking, stirring around a bit. Smelling really good in here. What I want to do now is I want to toss in that chicken. I want to toss in the rice. We're going to save the Parmesan for later, same with the cream, so let's put them off to one side for right now. Let's mix this around a little bit. And then in goes the chicken stock, or chicken broth, whatever you want to call it. Let's see, we got some at the bottom there, yes. All right, that, and the water. Now, I'm going to bring that to a boil and then simmer it for about 15 minutes. At that point, the rice is going to be soaking up some of that liquid. It's going to be cooking. The chicken's going to get cooked. And then we're going to go a few more minutes afterwards with these guys in there. All right, so see you back here in 15 minutes. All right, so while that's getting ready, that's not even come to a boil yet, so we let that slowly bring up to a boil and then simmer it for that 15 minutes. While that's happening, let's get these guys right out of the way. What I've got here is we can make the Parmesan garlic toasts. So, of course, across the back here, I've got one baguette, which I have sliced. I've sliced it kind of diagonally because it gives more surface area, right? And I've just, I say, tossed away the end bits, but no, I ate those. They were quite delicious. So the very end bits are too narrow, so we'll go down to about this size here. So that's basically a whole baguette sliced up about a little over ½ inch, about 12 to 15 millimeters thick, somewhere around there. Really doesn't matter that much, but you want to keep them a little thin so they just get full of that garlic butter. So for the garlic butter itself, across the front here, well, first of all, we've got a ½ cup of butter, and that is kind of softish. It's been at a good room temperature, so it's a little softer, easier to mash. Then over here, we're going to add in 1 ounce or about 30 grams of Parmesan cheese grated with that fine grater again. Over here, 5 garlic cloves crushed, 1 teaspoon of basil, just a dried basil, and then across here we've got a ½ teaspoon each of salt and pepper. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cream up that butter. So I'm going to toss that into a larger bowl here. Get in there. That is soft. I actually cheated and put it in a very low oven for a minute because it's a little cooler in this kitchen than it should be. And most people's houses are warmer than this. All right, so yeah, this makes it easier to cream it down. If you can, or you want to, you can actually just melt the butter and mix all this, but then it's a little harder to put it on the bread. It's not so spreadable. It's more drizzleable. I like to just be able to spread it on there. So soften the butter up well, and then just give it a creaming like this. Now I'm just going to cream in salt and pepper, basil, and the garlic. I want to do those first because once I add that Parmesan, it's going to stiffen up a bit more. So I'm going to cream that a bit. Just enough till everything gets mixed together. All right, now in goes the Parmesan. So just mix that around until the Parmesan gets combined into the garlic butter mixture. Let's see, is that starting to come to a boil yet? Not quite. It'll get there. Okay, that is looking good. Oh, the oven's ready. These are going to go in that oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. I'm going to bake them, about 10 minutes. Basically what I want to see the butter melting into the bread, and I want to see the bread just a little bit starting to brown around just get a little bit of crispiness on the edges and stuff. But about 10 minutes is good. 10, you can go 15, about the same time as it takes for this to boil. So what I'm going to do now is just spread this on liberally. And let's just get out here right now, so save a little bit of labor. Move these directly to this. Put them onto a baking rack, baking tray. And let's get that right to the edges, basically. This is going to be good. I love garlic bread. There we go. All right, so those are going to go in the oven, say about 10 minutes or so. Might go closer to 15 minutes. Just going to keep an eye on them, see what they look like. I want them perfect. And this is just starting to come to a boil. So that's going to be ready to start simmering for that 15 minutes. But at the same time, these guys are going to be in the oven. Perfect. All right, see you back here when we're ready to add the cream and the cheese to the soup. All right, those are looking fantastic. See the browning? You see the browning around the edges? That's absolutely perfect. So I did these for just a little over 12 minutes in there. Yeah, you just keep an eye on it. Like I say, it's going to be somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. That's got just a little bit further to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be taking these home. So I'm going to put these into a tray. You can put them out on a nice plate or something like that. Or you can float them on top of the soup as you serve it. It's really up to you as to which way to do that. Now, if you're going to put it on top of the soup just before you serve it, do it just before. You don't want them to get too soggy. But yeah, a couple minutes is okay. That's hot. All right, let's get those guys in there. Woo-hoo. All right, so as we're ready to go, I'm going to put those aside. That's got about another minute or so to go. We'll be right back. Steam there. That has been simmering away for 15 minutes. I don't know if you can see in there or not. That is looking really good. That's really got a bit of thickness from the rice. Now, we're going to add in the cream. We're going to add in the Parmesan. Get all that in there. And mix that in. Oh, that is going to be fantastic. All right. Now I'm going to cook this for another 3 to 5 minutes. Just heating up again from, the cream and all that. Also melting all the cheese, thickening this up a little bit. But that is one creamy, delicious soup. Okay, I'll put the lid back on here. Let's get you back here in about 3 to 5 minutes. All right, so that's been cooking for about another 3 to 5 minutes. It was about 4 minutes. And, oh yeah, you see that creaminess there? Oh, that is delicious looking. All right, let's serve some of that up. Got a little bowl here. Get a ladle. All right, so you've got chunks of chicken in there. You've got rice in there. Turn that off. We've got the leeks and all. And then there's a couple ways to serve this up. You can serve it up just like this and put these out on the table for people to just help themselves. One of the things I like to do is just to dunk these in the soup. Or the other thing, if you want to make a nice fancy looking dish, you could float a couple on top like that and serve it up like that. How does that look? All right, if you like this recipe and want to see some more, stick around. There's a lot more here on the Kuma's Kitchen YouTube channel. Also, make sure you subscribe because every Monday there's another original Kevin Riley Kuma's Kitchen recipe coming out here on the YouTube channel. You don't want to miss any of those. There's some really cool ones coming up. And if you're not yet a patron, well, please consider becoming one because for as little as $3 a month, you can be helping to support the creation of these video recipes, and also you get access to all the cool stuff that's in the Patreon feed that all the other patrons are getting right now. So consider that and make this delicious, creamy chicken and rice soup with Parmesan garlic toasts soon. And make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.